Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to the webinar, Shaping the Future of Indonesia's Agriculture Through Collaborations and Technology Innovations. My name is Cynthia Caroline. On behalf of the SwissCham Indonesia, I am excited to be opening this webinar today. The Swiss-Indonesia Chamber of Commerce, or SwissCham in short, is a non-profit association of Swiss and Indonesia business with members from corporate to small medium enterprises. And we aim to contribute to the advancement of trade, investment, and development of relations between Swiss and Indonesia business communities through programs led by our 4 sectoral groups, such as the Ease of Doing Business Sectoral Group, Fiscal Custom and Excise Sectoral Group, Human Capital Development Sectoral Group, and Sustainability and Innovation Sectoral Group. And today's webinar is proudly presented by our Sustainability and Innovation Sectoral Group of SwissCham Indonesia. First of all, I would like to say thank you to all the participants who join us through Zoom online, and a very special thank you to our today's speaker. The first is to Ibu Musdalifah Mahmud, Deputy for Food and Agribusiness Coordination of Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs. Also, thank you to the Head of Swiss Economic Cooperation of the Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs, or SECO, of the Embassy of Switzerland and in Indonesia, Mr. Philip Orga. Thank you to the Head of Corporate Sustainable Agriculture of Nestle Indonesia, Bapak Syahrudi. Thank you. Thank you to the President Director of Syngenta, Mr. Kazim Hasnain. Thank you very much for joining us. And also thank you for the Chief Executive Officer of Cultiva, Bapak Manfred Burer. Thank you very much for being our panelist today. And also, we would like to say thank you to the moderator today, the Business Sustainability Manager of Syngenta, Ibu Mirna Mutiara. Thank you very much. And on today's webinar, we will explore and engage in a dialogue about the role of technology innovation in developing the future of sustainable agriculture in Indonesia. But before I hand over to our moderator, Ibu Mirna, there are a few housekeeping items that I would like to go through. The first, today's presentation material and the recording of this webinar will be available on our website. And if you have any question for our speaker during the webinar, anytime during the presentation, please feel free to type your question on the Q&A box, which is located at the bottom of your screen. However, please start your question with your name and your organization or institution so we know who we are addressing. And we will address your question at the end of the presentations. And we apologize in advance if we cannot go through all the questions due to the time limitation. So without any further ado, I would like to kick off this webinar today by welcoming our moderator, Ibu Mirna Mutiara. Ibu Mirna, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning to all our media journalists. Very warm welcome to you all. And of course, I want to say good morning as well to our speakers, our panelists, and I'm sure that you will fulfill our day, very enlightening day today from you. Very good, a very warm welcome to you. And of course, for our audience joining through the Zoom, very good morning to you and warm welcome, and I hope you can join the session today and then you enjoy the session as well. Can I sit? Okay. So all the audience and very respectable panelists, today we are gathered in a dialogue forum that brings an intriguing theme of shaping the future of Indonesia's sustainable agriculture through collaborations and technology innovations. I want to give a little bit context of us from this theme. So from this theme, sustainable agriculture is sort of like the wave of the future. But then again, what is exactly sustainable agriculture? So sustainable agriculture system is a system that allows our farmers and as well as their farms of all sizes to be profitable and to have highly productivity, while at the same time they can also support the regeneration of farmers as well as safeguarding the environment of the farming. And then what has it got to do with innovations? So our journalists, innovations usually are commonly discussed in the area of manufacturing, in the area of retail, in the area of information and communications. And also, if we Google up, mostly innovations are actually perceived to be implemented at the expense of sustainability. So here, we have our panelists that will share their respective sharing and information about the fact that there is no shortage of innovative solutions being developed to help our Indonesia's farmers to maximize their yields while minimizing the impact on the environment. First, I would like to invite our first panelist, Ibu Musdalifah Mahmud, Deputy for Food and Agribusiness Coordination of the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs. Ibu Mus has been in various governmental positions since 2002, mainly focusing on the areas of plantation, horticulture, and conservation. Ibu Mus, from what I understand that you are joining from Russia, I hope your connection is good so we can hear you well and then we can learn a lot from what you're going to share with us. Ibu Mus, please welcome your screen and time. The screen and time is yours.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madam Mirna, thank you very much to contact me in 3 a.m. in Russia. But I think this meeting or this seminar is very fruitful for all of us to share how we should support the sustainable agriculture in the world. In terms for Indonesia, especially for Indonesia, I hope that what I mentioned today is can just to give the input, and I hope that through this webinar we can accumulate, we can all the issue or the suggestion that can suggest again to us as a government. The shaping the future for the sustainable agriculture is the very important item for us, for Indonesia, because we have to provide 270 million people, and then the limited land we have, and also the technology and the spread of our farmer in all the remote area of our country. Why agriculture is very important for our country? Because the basic culture, the basic knowledge, what they have in all our people is agriculture. They live in kampung, in the remote area. They know the most important in their life is agriculture. If they know about construction, it's just about a side work or side job for them. Until now, in all the district, the remote area in our country, Indonesia with vast agriculture potential, but it faced very numerous challenges in realizing this potential. Collaboration and technology innovation are key to shaping the future Indonesia's agriculture. This presentation will explore how collaboration and technology innovation can help overcome the challenges facing Indonesian agriculture and pave the way for a more sustainable, prosperous future. Ladies and gentlemen, next please. The role of agriculture sector in economic development. We can have a look at food supplier and raw material supplier, national source of income, provide job opportunities, source of surplus for investment, countries foreign exchange earner. That's all the role of agriculture for our people. Actually, not only for this, for the stability of the country also is depend and a very basic needs for the people is from agriculture sector. We provide food, we provide economy also, and we provide a lot of job because the resource from Indonesia is based on the agriculture, agribusiness. And the contribution from agriculture sector is environment preservation function, production establishment, labor absorption, expand export, price stability, basis product agro industry. So we can have a look that Indonesia about 60% of the people they depend on the agriculture or agribusiness sector. The role from this role and development of the agriculture, the challenging still facing in Indonesia agriculture. Agriculture face several challenges, including low productivity still happen, limited access to market, and climate change. Low productivity is a major challenge as many farmers lack access to modern farming techniques. Next slide, please. And technologies. Limited access to market also hinder growth as farmers struggle to sell their product at fair price. Climate change exacerbates these challenges as extreme weather events become more frequent and unpredictable. To talk about the access for the market, now for our farmers sell their product, they are depend on the middlemen who were can be driving the price to the consumer and the price to the farmer itself. That's why sometimes farmer earn only 1/3 of the price of their product. So to develop national sustainable food system, we need to acknowledge that some action has to be put in the activity food system. Sustainable the domestic production and availability to meet the demand for quality and safe food. That is demand that we need to achieve in the future. To develop national food system, they need to food assistance for food vulnerable household. Who is they are ensuring food security, availability, access, utilization, and consumption and stability. Strengthening consumer purchasing power and preference, and also labor-intensive activities for agriculture workers to increase farmers' income. That's what we need to assist food vulnerable household, we call that. And also to achieve this food assistance, we need to strengthening farmer cooperation and food distribution distribution efficiency. This is we call pola pangan harapan. We have to acknowledge all the people. Fresh food is full of nutrition and safe. Fortified food like salt with increasing iodium, and cooking oil with vitamin A and rice with vitamin D. Strengthening the market system, wholesale and retail, farmers, fishermen corporation, we need to develop online supply chains to give more access to the farmer to sell their product, strengthening food logistic, assistance in intermodal food distribution in production-based areas and consumer market access. That we need to develop all corporation and food distribution efficiency. So to acknowledge to to the farmer, we need to have the food accessibility. It means that we have to need increased profit and sustainability of food production, food inflation control, and also promotion, labeling, packaging, food safety, food information. That's need the technology and all knowledge to uh, to to achieve food accessibility. And also to have this local food accessibility, we need to local development conducive environment. This local food development need to strengthen food stimulus, assistance subsidies for industries and people with low purchasing power, ensuring the food trade system, trade standards regulation, strengthen storage processing and manufacturing. System, it not like we have just fingertip, but what we need is how we can develop the ecosystem sustainable food to create the ecosystem, the good ecosystem, sustainability ecosystem in the food system. So we hope that all these this target we can raise step by step through this activity, this policy, this program to achieve the stability on the national food. Next, please. Increasing the competitiveness of agriculture commodities through collaborative and strengthening of upstream, sustainable agriculture development by increasing business scale through the integration of production areas and integration of upstream and downstream, as well as the involvement of technology and the support of capital owner partnership through technology access to distribution within the corporate sphere. First, that we need to identify and also to produce to have mapping the land and product potential of each region. Each commodity, actually, we have already the mapping, but to accommodate all the mapping in all the food system in national, we need to more work hard to produce mapping of the land and product potential from each region. Actually, we have already one map policy and also mapping all each commodities that consumed by our people, but still need to more strengthen the link of the from the consumer to the from the producer of the commodity to the consumer area. And also upstream downstream stakeholder mapping and institutional consolidation we need to more and more do consolidation, easy access to financing, poor PKBL and plantation insurance. What we need to elaborate and also to more applicable to our people, and also to setting production schedule and product diversification. Application of GAP, use of superior seed, organic fertilizer, good agriculture practicing, and application of smart farming and assistance, establishment of cooperatives and partnership with off-takers, and development of digital-based logistics. And we hope that through this all technology, all this cooperative activity can provide the good farmer to have the uh,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ibu Musdalifa. I think your connection is quite poor here, so we cannot really hear your presentation very well. While waiting for Ibu Mus, I think we can pick up some points from what she delivered. Basically, the point is that in Indonesia, low productivity is still the problem. And access to technologies is also the challenge for our farmers. And then she mentioned about basically the Indonesian government has this national sustainable food system, which has different components where I think that different actors in agriculture value chain can tap in to basically address all the challenges in each components of the national sustainable food system. And then she also mentioned that in this, to achieve this national sustainable food system, technologies and innovations play an important role in order to achieve the prosperity for the farmers. So I think that's basically that I can pick up the points. Okay. I think Bu Mus, yes?
okay, sorry, the
Understandable,
internet
Bu.
problem. Yeah,
Russia is
okay.
very far.
So I think what you mentioned before, that what
Go ahead, Ibu.
okay, okay, thank you. Uh, okay, I think this what we would like to achieve, yeah, in the future, that all these ecosystem can working well to provide our farmer, and to let also our farmer can link to all what we provide for them, what we share to need to have the technology provider, to have the farmer, producer, saprotan production input also suit to the farmer, they can fulfill the need. And all, and one thing that financing insurance provider also nowadays is very they need a lot, the farmer need a lot, because they face so many risks, like we face the flooding, and also climate change happen, and pest and disease always happen in the farmers land. And market provider of take and off taker also nowadays we develop some program to give access to stability price for our farmer can fulfill the need for the. And farmer corporate development that we nowadays we are still waiting for the president regulation for the farmer corporate development. What we need to achieve is to the objective is to increase the economic of scale, farmers' income, and to increase also productivity. What we will do in this term for farmer corporate development, why we need to encourage the farmer to have in to build in a one corporate to uh, to implementing corporate farming from small land into land consolidation to increase the efficient economics of scale from cultivation business to integration business, upstream to downstream, to increase the value chain, from monoculture farming to mixed farming, and and also to increase the institutional consolidation through regulation at central level, management central and local, institutional strengthening of farmer, fishermen, corporate value, culture entrepreneurs, and assistance and partnership. In terms of the technology innovation adoption, novelty of production input, cultivation practices, new post-harvest technology, novelty packaging, and on the synergy, we need we need to share vision, implementation of integrated activity between actors and supporters. And to support in this farmer corporate development, we need to have the easy access to financing. In farming, production input, post-harvest, they need dryer, RMU, rice milling unit, and warehouse, processing of derivative product, and agriculture insurance. In the off-taker involvement, we need to have guarantee of production as well as an avalis, assistance to farmer, fishermen, business model on farm and off farm. We need to develop to them. Digitalization implementation IT, land mapping and business actors. We need to on farm and off farm activities integrated to agriculture information system and to farmer and fishermen. And last but not least, very important is logistic support. Nowadays, we analyze that one term that very important for us in logistic support, they spend around 30% of our farmers, our price in the consumer is through logistic support. And to encourage more online and offline marketing. And next, please. Technology innovation in agriculture can also play a crucial role in shaping the future of Indonesian agriculture. Precision agriculture, for example, use data analytic and sensor to optimize crop yield and reduce waste. Other innovation include mobile apps that provide farmers with real-time weather updates, drones that can monitor crop health and spray pesticides more efficiently. So what we need to develop for the farmer to make them sustainability through this technology innovation, we assure that all the young farmer can come to they're happy to come to work on the agriculture. So we need this all technology because the young people like to have uh, uh, efficiency on the worker and also to access technology to have new to manage the high risk on the agriculture sector. Through the technology, they assure they can because if they can calculate from the first what they do, then they can they can get what they have been done. Through technology, they can minimize all the risks. They can also increase the productivity. They can do efficiency on their farmer. So to assure that our generation to come to work in the agriculture, we need technology and innovation go to our agriculture system. Next, please. Digital agriculture in agriculture system design and implement sustainable agriculture system at farm landscape scales. Nowadays, we have already implement in the pilot in the small scale, but we need to accelerate to let our all farmer can access to digital agriculture system because uh, to and also to implement this system, we need to have cooperation with all the young farmers, their son, their children, and all our millennial young people go to work to help the farmer to use this digital agriculture system because for the our farmer 50 years up, I thought they cannot access they cannot afford this kind of the technology. So if we can implement, we have to ask our young people to work in the agriculture system. Next, please. This is the innovation for a sustainable in the future that we need also to introduce the what we call microbiome as a primary as the input for the primary production and also to improve uh, all the output from our agriculture sector. Through microbiome, we can have more uh, production. We can to develop mixed farming in the farm. Not only one product they can produce, but they can mix all the develop the integration of the system of the agricultural. So I hope this innovation in the for a sustainable future can industrialize more of the our resources from the agriculture sector to 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 produce more various of our product from the agriculture. Next, please. Also, we have pentahelic collaboration in plantation commodity development. We have the cooperation with all the from the government, we community, industry, academics, researchers, and media. The role of stakeholders, government as regulator and coordinator, communities as accelerator and liaison between stakeholders and smallholders, industry as enabler or party who runs the plantation industry business, academic researcher as a drafter and help increase the capacity of knowledge and skills, and for the media as an extender that is able to expand information and knowledge of the public through various types of publication. So in this pentahelix, we look that one maybe is very important to develop the collaboration between all the the stakeholders to help the next, please. There are already several success stories in the Indonesia agriculture that demonstrate the power collaboration and technology. For example, system of rice intensification method has helped for the farmer increase the rice yield by up to 50%. Another such mobile apps to connect farmers with buyers, enabling them to sell their product at higher price and reducing food waste. This success story show that with the right collaboration and technology innovation, Indonesian agriculture can thrive. I hope that we can elaborate to more initiative, more system to develop a success story in another system, in another story for our farmers. Regenerative agriculture nearly 2 times the profit. We can have look this is the what we have been analyzed that the from conventional to regenerative can increase more profit to our farmer. Next, please. Collaboration in agriculture, different between different stakeholders in the agriculture sector can help overcome these challenges. Farmer, government agency, NGO, private company, and also media can work together to share knowledge. For example, farmer cooperatives can pool resources to government agency can provide training and to financing uh, option. Next, please. I think that is only to strengthening what we call pentahalis in plantation sector. We can have look that from cocoa we have working together with cocoa sustainable partnership and in Indonesia Sustainable Palm Oil, Sustainable Coffee Platform of Indonesia, and Sustainable Natural Rubber Platform of Indonesia. These all we need to implement more in the future and as a one tool to for us to work together with all stakeholders to increase the production and increase the income of our people. In the same time, also we they can protect uh, the environment system and ecosystem. Next, please. Also, we have a good example from the partnership with Indonesia Sustainable Agriculture, PASGO, was first announced by Indonesia Vice Minister since June 2011. Officially established in 20 April, PASGO is public-private partnership that was created in response to challenge and opportunity facing the agriculture sector in Indonesia. I hope that this Peace Agro has more than 85 partners consisting of national and multinational companies, non-government organizations, donors, and other institutions spread across 13 work groups. And this Peace Agro, I hope can generate or can inform to our farmers as an example to with their pilot to let our farmer knows how to implement the good agriculture system through intervention on the technology, innovation, high quality seeds, and also well input fertilizer and others technology that they can provide. And also the market has already as a partners with them. Next, please. This is what we have in the palm oil, rubber, coffee, and cocoa. What we have now, that it is the fourth export, main export for our country in 2021. We can look that more than participating in working group member value chain project, around 154 thousand farmers for the palm oil, and participation and also in rubber and coffee and also in cocoa. I hope this information, as a base info to all of us, that these four commodity, these four product produced in Indonesia nowadays as a four product need to have to assign that there are no deforestation on this product. We are sure we are Indonesia no deforestation anymore because the decreasing of deforestation since 2008 now only 101.5, but in EU regulation they still need to prove this that the product with they import produced by no deforestation area. What we need to have, I think, the impact to our farmer, because we don't provide the traceability in our product, especially for rubber, coffee, cocoa. For palm oil, we have Indonesia sustainable palm oil. We can increase the work in the ISPO to create the value chains, supply chains, and also the traceability. But rubber, coffee, cocoa, we need to develop another scheme to assure to the market that their product are not on the area deforestation from the in year 2020. But to prove them, we need a system. We need to, and it need cost. So how to provide them? This is a big challenge to us to develop institution to provide the farmer for their product that this is clean, not coming from the deforestation area. Next, please. The important role of this is palm oil in the economy. This is what we can just show the audience here, the party that palm oil is the very important for our because Indonesia in the first stage 20 billion billion US dollar creating indirect labor, land ownership 41% of smallholders, and we can provide 10 we can save 122 trillion from energy security by utilizing mostly 11 million KL palm oil for biodiesel, and also can create the stability industry labor intensive and increase workforce 10% every year will directly improve people's welfare. Next, please.
Ibu Mus, we are mindful about the time, Ibu, if it's okay. 1
Okay,
minute, is it okay,
I
Ibu?
think, okay. But we just saw that we care about sustainability more than others. We can have a look. We can show you that how far that we have developed as create the policy the regulation to for our to taking care the ecosystem and sustainability in all of our community and in all of our country. Next, please. For class plantation operation toward industry 4.0, that this is what we need to increase the capacity of our business plantation for the future, that not only to produce but also to taking care the environment, to taking care the efficiency, to increase all the uh, to increase the product income for uh, the people, and also to create more technology to improve, not always not give the input from the fossil fuel, but to create the how to zero waste and also to utilize renewable energy with green energy. Next, please. Conclusion, collaboration and technology innovation essential for shaping the future of Indonesia agriculture. By working together and embracing new technologies, we can overcome the challenges facing Indonesia agriculture and pave the way for a more sustainable and prosperous future. Let us all work toward a brighter future for Indonesian agriculture. Thank you very much, Ibu Mirna.
Thank you very much, Ibu Mus. We really appreciate your time, taking your time in Russia to share some perspective from the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs. And I'm sure the audience here, including the speakers, we are from the industry. We learn a lot from what you have shared. It's quite new. Some information are quite new. And I'm sure we want to learn more in a separate occasion, that we want to talk to you about so many things that you have presented, Ibu. Ibu, if you have more time, you can still join us through Zoom, because I'm sure that the more speakers will talk a lot what they have done in sustainable agriculture, relevant to what you have shared with us. Thank you, Ibu Musdalifah. Take care there in Russia, Ibu.
Yeah, maybe some after some time, I need to go to other so thank you. Will be successful and create more innovation for our agriculture sustainable. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Ibu. Take care, Ibu Musdalifah. Assalamualaikum. Now I would like to welcome the next speaker, Bapak Philip Orga, Head of Swiss Economic Cooperation and Development at Swiss Embassy in Indonesia. Welcome, Pak. Pak Philip is well experienced in the areas of international cooperation and international relations, and has served at reputable bodies like the United Nations and Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs. Stage is yours. Welcome here, and then after that you can sit over here, Pak Philip. Yes, please.
So you're not all alone.
Yeah, I need a friend.
Yeah, because you've been here all alone for so long, so I'll just join you. So thank you, Bumirna, and thank you to SwissCham for having me with you here today for this very important discussion. And I would also like to thank Ibu Musdalifah for joining us today online, and I wish her a very successful mission. So I'm really, really excited to discuss with all of you today how we can make the commodity sector more sustainable via the application of new technologies. So as you heard, I represent the Swiss government, as I'm the head of Swiss Economic Cooperation at the Swiss Embassy in Indonesia. And you might actually ask, or some of you might ask, why is this guy sitting here representing the Swiss government when we have an event with SwissCham and mostly private sector partners? So I will briefly explain why. So basically the Swiss government has economic cooperation and development program with the Indonesian government, and through this cooperation program, we support Indonesia's sustainable economic development. So we really try to boost Indonesia's economic development through projects in different sectors, and one of the main priority areas is sustainable commodity production, sustainable value chains, with a focus on sustainable palm oil. And the Swiss government has been promoting sustainable commodity production in Indonesia for now more than a decade, and we have been successful via working with UNDP and actually CMEA, so Ibu Mustalifa's ministry, in developing the National Action Plan on Sustainable Palm Oil, or the NAP-SPO. And so that NAP-SPO is now being implemented in 26 palm oil producing provinces across Indonesia. So this action plan has really become the reference document for the palm oil industry. And today we continue to work with the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs to roll out this action plan in these 26 provinces across Indonesia, and also at the district level. So we try to bring this regulatory work from the national level to the subnational level. And I believe, as we also just saw from the Deputy Minister, that that really shows Indonesia's commitment to the production of more sustainable commodities, in this case especially sustainable palm oil. And so that is one of the areas where we work together with Indonesia. Then the other area, or actually in addition to that NAP-SPO, we just launched in 2023 a sustainable landscape program Indonesia, or SLPI, and some of you in this room might have actually heard about this program. And SLPI in a way builds on the previous work that was supported by the Swiss government here in Indonesia, and with one important distinction, and that distinction is that we now move from a single commodity approach, previously was mainly on palm oil, to a landscape approach. And so through this landscape approach, we promote the sustainable management of natural resources and commodities in a given area, and that can be palm oil, that can be rubber, cocoa, or coffee. So in a nutshell, what we try to do with SLPI, and again, this is a super summary, to promote the production of sustainable commodities, to provide economic opportunities to farmers, while at the same time, and I think that's very, very important, while at the same time protecting the environment and also addressing climate change. And I just came back from Aceh last week, which is one of the program locations where we work with Swiss Contact, we work with Earthworm, we work with Coltiva, we have Manfred with us here today, and also we work with private sector partners. As part of this project, we work with Nestle, who is here with us today as well. We work with Givaudan, we work with Mars, and also Golden Augury Resources. So I think that this public private sector partnership is one of the reasons why I believe that this SLPI program is so powerful. And together with our private sector partners, we will set up multi-stakeholder platforms to increase collaboration at the provincial and at the district level, and then also provide direct support to farmers to, one, increase productivity, and then two, also to access markets. So very much responding to the challenges which were mentioned by Ibu Mustalifa in her presentation. And another reason why I believe that this SLPI, or this program, is so powerful is because we work through 4 different projects. So the one in Aceh is one of them. And these 4 projects, they're active on the islands of Sumatra and Kalimantan. So we try to promote knowledge exchange and promotion of lessons learned across these provinces and districts. So also responding to some of the challenges that were mentioned by the Deputy Minister. So this is more of, let's say, the reason why we support from a cooperation program perspective. But there is also a more political reason why Switzerland engages in the commodity sector. And that has to do with the free trade agreement, or the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which was signed between Switzerland and the other EFTA states, so Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein, together with Indonesia. So this SEPA was signed in 2021. And I think an important message here is that this free trade agreement allows the export of all palm oil. Of course, there's a focus on palm oil. Allows the export of all palm oil to Swiss and the other EFTA markets. So that can be sustainable palm oil and palm oil that is considered being not sustainable. And in addition, I think that is the most interesting point, is that the palm oil that is produced sustainably, for example, that has been RSPO certified, can benefit from a tariff reduction of up to 40%. So there is actually an economic incentive for Indonesia to produce more sustainably, get that certification in order to benefit from these tariff reductions. So I think that this sustainable landscape program, Indonesia, also needs to be understood in this more political context. So as you can see, Switzerland has, on the one hand, the economic cooperation program with Indonesia, and then also on the other hand, the free trade agreement, because as part of the free trade agreement, we also committed to supporting Indonesia in producing more sustainable commodities. And actually, this sustainability clause with regard to the palm oil sector is a first worldwide when it comes to free trade agreements. So I hope that Bu Minna and everyone here in the room and joining online, that this explains why I'm here on this panel today to share some of my experiences of working in the commodities sector in Indonesia. And I hope that also everyone will benefit from today's conversation. So with that, thanks again for having me, and we're looking forward to the panel discussion, which will happen very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Philip. So I think from your sharing, we would like to learn more later on about this landscape approach. Apparently, this approach will actually help protecting the environment, as well as addressing the climate change, but as well as it's part of the free trade agreement under SEPA that is between the Swiss government and Indonesian government. So we can talk more about it later with the journalists. And now I would like to welcome the next speaker, Pak Syahrudi, the head of corporate sustainable agriculture of Nestle Indonesia. Pak Syahrudi has a long dedication and proven track record in sustainable agriculture. Yeah, Pak Syahrudi. In Nestle Indonesia, his role is instrumental to driving the company's sustainability agenda. He's working closely with the farmers and stakeholders to promote sustainable farming practice. Please come on stage, Pak Syahrudi. Or you want to stand over there, Pak Syahrudi?
Yeah,
To present. Yes,
because I have some slides for presentation. I think better to stand in here, just because I can see also the presentation. Again, good morning, and thank you for SwissCham for having me in here, and very happy to be around and amongst our stakeholders with a high concern for the Indonesian agriculture, especially towards sustainability. And also for Ibu Mus, thank you very much. Long time not to see you, and I hope next we can go and discuss also about how we can make a good plan and roadmap also for our Indonesian agriculture towards sustainability. And I will start with the Farmers Connect. Please back to the topics, because in here I mentioned about the Farmers Connect. This is part of our journey towards sustainable agriculture. Why Farmers Connect? Because for Nestle, farmers is not only as a suppliers, but farmers also as our partners. And we are not only talking about the traceability, but also developing trust for the long term. Next. Yeah, just a short introduction about Nestle. As we know that Nestle actually the Swiss company with more than 450 factories around the world. And we are actually mostly focused on the food and beverages company business. And with all core in manufacturing, we are as a good food and good life company, not only ensuring or make sure about food safety and food quality, but also we believe that we have also to contribute across our value chain, because it's not only about the contribution, but sustainability means also for the future generation. Next, please. Okay, we can see this sustainability journey, especially in the last few years, we are focused on ensuring carbon footprint reduction. And if we talk about the sustainability, we have started actually since long time ago. But in the last 4 or 5 years, we are ready also to have more commitment on climate change and to becoming net zero emission by 2050, with some step also in 2025 and also 2030. And we act across our value chain, not only in our operation, but also in upstream and also downstream. And for this moment, we will not presenting more on our initiative in Nestle operation, you can see in the slides, and also for downstream, but we will focus to talk about the upstream, because we believe that sustainable relationship, we will talk about more in upstream, because this is all related with our supply of raw material or agriculture raw material. Next, please. Yeah, okay, next. I think this is all just the focus for the sustainability in agriculture part. And if we talk about the sustainable agriculture, we can see, and we have the collaboration and partnering with more than 500,000 farmers around the world, and to make sure that to advance regenerative farming practices at the heart of our food system. And in Indonesia, we are partnering with more than 35,000 farmers. And actually, we start to develop farmers since 1975. We start actually in dairy, and almost from the scratch, because as we know that actually Indonesia are not dairy countries. We start from almost the scratch, and I still remember that actually the first milk delivered only 140 liters per day. And yeah, thanks God today, they are continuing to grow, and up to now, the milk production there already 720,000 liters per day, and also expanded to 16 regencies. And then we continue to develop in the coffee sector by having the program for coffee development in Lampung area. It was started since 1994, and then we continue with the developing of rice farmers and soya farmers in the Central Java. Next. I try to stick with the time limit here. And then now we have the roadmap towards our sustainable agriculture. What is our focus? You can see again, food safety and quality as our basic. We need to make sure that we have all the compliance to make sure the food safety and quality in our product. But not only that, we are also have another focus in productivity in our agricultural supply chain. And this is all the basic that we need to come with this approach based on the living income of farmers. And nevertheless, also it will be improved on some requirement like animal welfare, biodiversity, and ultimately low greenhouse gas emission in our farming practices. And if we talk about this program, actually this is the common program, but the key, again, the key actually will be in the approach. How we develop the right approach based on our Indonesian farmers. So, like I can say that today we can start with identify the gap, but really to make sure that we really know what will be the gap. As Ibu Mus also mentioned before, we have some challenge there, like small size farming, low financial capacity, low productivity, lack of knowledge, and also lack of access of competitive input and also market. But nevertheless, also the mindset, how we can go for the transforming. This is also depends on how we can change the mindset of farmers. And some of people will see this all as a big gap, but we believe in all big gap, we can find the big potential to improve, the big chance to make a big improvement. And then we make like prioritizing. Why? Because we know that actually in the farmers level, we cannot jump with the very high technology. We need to see their capacity. We need to find the program that actually easiest for them. But the more important, actually, this program should come first with their own benefit. And also define the support. This is another step of our approach. The define of support by principle means how we can simplify the program with all the capacity and accessible also for them, and also affordable to them, practicable, and finally profitable for them. Why? Because based on our experience, training, coaching, demo plot, this is the tools. But we know this is not a guarantee that they will follow. And even when we talk about the farmers, we can classify the farmers by three. Let's say we can say maybe by 4 or 5, but for me, make it simple. We can find farmers like pioneers farmers. And what you can expect from the pioneer farmers, how much these pioneer farmers, we only can expect 1 or 2% of our farmers as a pioneers. When we just talk about something, the innovation, and then they have the very high courage, and then they will follow. And the second one, the follower farmers. The follower farmers, this is also not too much. They need to have or to see some proven there, but they are only maybe like almost 30%. But most of them, actually, the fanatical farmers, means like followers, but with more condition they are asking. This is actually our farmers. And I have some example actually. I take one example in dairy. How we try to accelerate, and not accelerate first, but also try to come for the transformation. What we need to start actually, how we can close all the basic gap. We cannot just jump with something that actually this is worth it to in the developed countries, but we need to come first with how we close the basic gap. This is something maybe like a funny thing, like just when we start with the drinking water for dairy, for cows. And if we look at their previous treatment for drinking water, they just give 2 times per day and very limited, and they expect good productivity with this climate. And then we try to come with the support for them, how we can make it happen even just by they are asking, okay, I want it. I want to have like a drinking water that already always available for cows, because cows need more water, not only to produce the milk, but also to make sure that they can stay with all the climate and with tropical climate like we have in here. And okay, I think that's all from my part. I try also to mention a little bit about the, little bit about the record. This is one of the biggest weakness of our partners, but we know that we need to start with this because yeah, some people said that you cannot improve what you cannot measure. That's why we have also some collaboration with the Coltiva in coffee, in dairy, and start to find a way what kind of the application that also will be easily to use by the farmers. And last, just a little bit quote that the sustainable agriculture approach should be based on additional benefit to farmers. We can talk about greenhouse gas emission or regenerative agriculture, they don't care. But if we can find the best approach and give them additional benefit, and in the same time, also answering all these requirements, we can expect something more for transformation. And that's why also transformation journey needs to have the right approach, proven, because we develop trust with them. And another important thing, we need to do it consistently and continuously. Because if we just come with a project, just spot, and then we leave it, and then they also will leave, and then back to their previous activities. But we need to consistent on this. That's why also since 1975 in Indonesia, we are still continuing to develop dairy farmers. I think that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pak Shahrudi. It's very enlightening, a resourceful perspective from you. And it's very interesting when you say about regenerative agriculture. It's how actually the challenges to make sure that our farmers can maintain such practices and how they can adopt it, and to make sure that such improvement in agriculture practices can be maintained over time. So the next speaker is Pak Kazim. I would like to welcome you, Pak Kazim, to present your topic. So Pak Kazim is the President Director of Syngenta Indonesia. Pak Kazim, his passion is to drive digital transformation and sustainable agriculture for smallholder farmers. When he was the Managing Director for Syngenta Pakistan, he was responsible for bringing the best of agriculture solutions for farmers.
Okay. Saya hormati, Ibu Muzalfa, my colleagues on the panel, taman-taman media, everybody in the room and everybody online. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salamat siang. Okay, now we have two speakers before lunch, so please stay motivated. I would like to appreciate SwissCham of bringing sustainable agriculture to the forefront, and this is a commendable effort or something which is really important on the national agenda. At the same time, when we always talk about agriculture, we are always complaining and talking about challenges, but we never forget to celebrate. And we need to celebrate of all the achievements which have happened in agriculture. To give you an example, on the Global Health Index, Indonesia in 2000 was, the vulnerability was at 26%. And now that has decreased to 18%. So the access of food in Indonesia has improved. And we need to be happy and we need to celebrate the good work which has been done by the government, by the businesses which are operating, and bringing good technology to the farmers of Indonesia. So let's not forget to be happy of what we have achieved. In my talk, I'm going to talk about just two things in my initial remarks. Where we are standing now and what Syngenta is doing to get to what we want to be in the future. Currently, if I look at the Food Security Index, which is published by The Economist, there are 113 countries in which they evaluate. Number one country is the highest food secure, and 113 is the least food secure. I ask all of you in this room, where do you think Indonesia is standing? Do you think we are in the top 60 countries? Please raise your hands. Okay, we have one hand here. If you think we are in the first, we have 2 hands, 3 hands, and that's good. At least we have 3 optimistic people in this room. So, in the food security index, Indonesia is standing at 63. Not far behind, but at 63. We are behind Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore. I would not compare because it's too small. It's like a kampung in Indonesia. So I would say that this is where we are standing at. This means the challenges of the future are different from what we have seen in the past. And that is why it is important that these seminars bring government, business together. So we talk about policy, we talk about strategy, and we talk about what the future would look like. Now, as a brief introduction, if you go to the next slide, I would like to introduce, for those of you who do not know Syngenta, Syngenta is a global organization. We have been operating in Indonesia since the 1960s. We operate in 100+ countries, and we are a research-based agri-tech company which brings solutions for farmers so that they can produce safe and nutritious food while we take care of the planet. This is what our introduction is. Now, moving forward, in the speakers today, we talked a lot about, if you go to the next slide, please. We talked a lot about the challenges. And now what we have, while we have written these as challenges, we at Syngenta see these as opportunities. And I'm not going to repeat all the challenges which were highlighted by the speakers before me. I'm just going to say that there are huge opportunities in agriculture. One opportunity which we have not spoken about is biodiversity and pollinator safety. And this is something which is also an opportunity in which we can work. When we look at food systems, we classify this into 3 areas, 3 aspects. When food is produced. So the first thing is the input side. This includes seeds, all the chemicals or non-chemicals, the fertilizer, which goes into farming. The second aspect we see is agronomy. Having good agronomy means better yields. And the third thing is off from the farm to the consumer. These are 3 different aspects which we see to boost the food systems and yields. At Syngenta, the way we are working on this, if you could go to the next slide, we are looking at sustainability of innovation. And when we talk about innovation, we are looking at chemical and non-chemical solutions. For us, crop health is not only important, soil health is equally important. And the amount of over-fertilization which is happening at the moment requires us that we need to come up with solutions which ease the farmers' problems, number one, and encourage regenerative agriculture. These are the innovations which we are working from an input side. From an agronomy point of view, we continue to serve our farmers through education, through awareness, and we are using digitalization on bringing better disease and pest identification for our farmers so that they can act at the right time and only use those chemicals which are needed and not use more than what is needed. On the output side, we have recently launched a program called Centrigo, in which we are connecting the farmers to buyers of food, buyers of their produce. And what I will do is I will quickly give you an example of what we have achieved so far and what we have learned so far. All of these are in our mission of making sure that we bring sustainable agriculture to Indonesia. If I go forward, please. Now, let me give you an example of all the how we are bringing digital to agronomy. On the left side, you can see that these are connecting softwares which we connect our farmers to us. And we don't just talk about which product. We talk about weather. We talk about disease and pest identification. What is the best solution? And also on the right side, we have recently launched an online store because we see that there are many a lot of pesticide and seed players on the e-commerce market, but a lot of them, we find some of them are not authentic. So we are trying to bring more discipline around this area. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that the farmer knows if he has a problem, he has a solution on his hand. At the same time, we're working on applicator safety and bringing in systems which are more safe for farmers to use and reduce their exposure to chemicals. This is a part on the agronomy side. On the offtake side, if you go to my probably last slide, can you go with the Centrigo, before that, can you go to the next slide, please? Next slide. The one after this. Yeah. In Centrigo, this is an example of a farmer in which what we do is we start with the farmer in the beginning. We help them get finance. We make sure they get the fertilizer inputs. Then we provide them with the advice. And then we provide them access to buyers. And what we have learned is through applying good quality inputs, having the right agronomy with the same land, they're able to produce more and get better quality vegetables, which translates into better return for them. And this has been, we have been replicating this on a few on vegetables, on corn, and eventually we will go into rice. So our vision is to make sure if the farmers are getting the best price, then they will be profitable. And if they are profitable, then Indonesia is profitable. We have to remember that we are all in the service of our farmers. And lastly, if you go back, I would like to conclude my presentation with regenerative agriculture. These are real practical examples of what we are doing in the field, which is encouraging no tillage. Second, using cover crop as practices, and biodiversity enhancement so that we increase the population of bees and beneficial insects. These are some of the practices we are trying to inculcate for regenerative agriculture. And the more we scale it up, the more we are able to ensure that farmers and their lands are more resilient to climate change. I'd like to conclude. Thank you, and thank you very much. And I think I'll hand it over to Mirna, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Pak Kazim. So in Syngenta sustainability approaches in agriculture, I can say like a couple of points there. Innovations in the technologies produced, improvement in agronomic practices, which includes regenerative agriculture, and digitalization, which allows better access for farmers to get more information about the latest technologies, as well as end-to-end approaches in order to support the farmers' prosperity. Last but not least, our speaker, Bapak Manfred, the co-founder and CEO of Coltiva. He spearheads the company's growth in supporting some of the largest multinational companies in 47 countries by digitizing and verifying global supply chains to be more traceable, reliable, and sustainable. Pak Manfred, please. come to the
Thank you.
stage.
Selamat pagi, or let's say selamat
Selamat
siang.
pagi.
We're already
Selamat
getting
siang.
close to lunch. Okay, let's dive directly into my slides. I have only 3-4 minutes shortly. So I arrived about 17 years ago in Indonesia, and since then I'm working at the core of sustainability, working with smallholder farmers across several different commodities. In 2010, I co-founded then, 2017, no, sorry, I'm confused with numbers today. 2007, I arrived in Indonesia, and 2013, we founded Coltiva. With Coltiva, we always see pain points. So what are the pain points of smallholder farmers and the industry? That's when we started with a farm management information system. After having a farm management information system and knowing the smallholders, the producers, we went into traceability, downstream traceability, upstream traceability. Then we saw the next pain point in the sustainability journey, transparency. So from an agri-tech company in 2013, we moved to a fintech company in around 2021. And then lately, on the whole regenerative agriculture, climate smart agriculture push from our clients, and also regulatory environments for scope 3 emissions, ESG reporting, we also moved into the climate space. So we're a triple tech company, including climate tech, agri-tech, and fintech. Besides our tech solutions, Quality Trace and Quality Pay, we also have services like Quality Skills. So tech, apps, it's just something shiny you have on your applications. So it helps agronomists, businesses to track and trace where the products are coming from or the products are delivered to. It's an app. It still needs people. It's human-centered technology we're building, and we have quality skills. If our clients, multinational companies, small, medium enterprises, cooperatives, do not have their own agronomists, we can provide. In Indonesia, we have over 700 employees working in either office or as boots on the ground. So quality skills is a core of our company to enable sustainability by providing verified information. Access information of smallholder farmers and the businesses into our applications. Where does it go? Here. Good. So globally, as mentioned, we work in about 47 countries, with users in about 47 countries. We have offices, staff in 13 countries, but our core is still Indonesia. Most of our staff are in Indonesia. We develop our applications in Indonesia. And in Indonesia, half of the farmers registered on our platform are in Indonesia. 500,000 farmers in Indonesia registered in our platform ecosystem. And here you see on this chart, end-to-end, seed to table. So we're an agri-tech company working from seed to table. And that's a learning from my 16 years in Indonesia. We can't work in data silos. Every company along a value chain, whether inputs or off-taking, they work in their data silos. And no one wants to share information, right? Then we have the European regulation of non-deforestation, who enforces now that every company, every buyer in Europe knows where the products are coming from. So how to get that done if no data is shared along the value chains? So we've integrated every aspect of data, from whatever goes into a farm, what happens on a farm, and what's coming out of a farm into our ecosystem. Besides almost 500,000 farmers in Indonesia, we're also working with over 3,000 businesses on sustainability. These businesses are our users, clients, working with our business application to manage and monitor whatever goes into a farm and coming out of a farm. And as I mentioned before, we have quality skills, about 1,500 users using our farm extension software to verify, monitor, support smallholder farmers. So it's key on the sustainability journey to not only talk about tech innovation, it's the boots on the ground that counts. Producers, farmers, fishermen, they're human beings. You can't talk to them through a drone or a blockchain or artificial intelligence. You're going to meet them, talk to them. That's it from myself. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the panel discussion.
Give a big hand of applause. Thank you. Thank you, Pak Manfred. Would you mind please sit with us here? So all the audience, whether it's here or in the Zoom, due to the time, I will only can think of one question that I think can apply to every of the speakers here, everyone here. So I will ask just one question, but any one of you can just say something about it, explain, or give a good example, including you, Pak Philip. From the speakers, we hear a lot about farmers being the center, be it rice farmers, horticulture farmers, palm oil workers. They are all the farmers that actually the center and the core of our attention here in this forum. So, and then we also talk about sustainable agriculture. I like when the comment from Shahrudi mentioning that, you know, when you talk about regenerative agriculture, when you talk about climate change, farmers do not care. To a certain degree, yes. Because the thing is, it's the same experiences. When you meet farmers, the only thing that they mainly focus is on productivity. So when it talks about protecting the environment, there is another challenge to actually instill the practice in them and actually to make sure that they adopt that when we are not there anymore. So what are, probably one of you can share just small example or a case where, what are the approaches, workable approaches that we have done to make sure that sustainable agriculture practices are understood by the farmers? They know the impact, they know it relates to climate change and environmental degradation, Bapak. And how the best approaches that you think that can make them adopt the practice sustainably? So anyone, including you, Pa, because I know that you are around trade and everything, because this is like fulfilling the demand of the market, where the market wants the farmers to do sustainable practices, but on the ground it's a very big challenge to make sure that our farmers do that. So please, Bapak, it's only me, Ibu, so Bapak-Bapak, is there a mic there, or is it only one
Yes. Thank you, Ibu Mirna. Again, this is very interesting to talk about the approach here, because this is actually the key. How we can manage all the requirement based on interests of farmers. I will come with another example. In the coffee side, we know that actually the limitation of our coffee farmers in the size of farming, they only have like 1 hectare. Can you get and make sufficient income with 1 hectare for coffee? I don't think so. So how we can still talk about 1 hectare in the same hectares of land, but with much better we can do there. And this is all based on the income of farmers. Let's say like intercropping. Today we have like 50 demo plots there, and this is not sufficient, this is not enough. We need to support them what they need. Okay, now they need organic fertilizer, fine. They need also the plantlets, yes. Just to make sure that they will do it. And what they will get from this, because from intercropping, they are not only having like a coffee line there, and it means also really depends on this coffee, and we know that actually the coffee price also fluctuated, and then they will not having like a good bargaining position, and then we support them like having like mango, durian in border, and then shading trees, and finally we can make sure that also they plant like a vanilla and pepper, and in between also seasonal crops like chili and ginger. And you can imagine this same hectares of land with the 5 times of biomass. What we can answer from this? Greenhouse gas. By having 5 times biomass, you can answer actually the regenerative agriculture, carbon removal in the same hectare of land. But again, the living income, the income of farmers today, by having all these, just to fulfill all the space they have in the same hectares of land, they will get much, much more income. And then the same time also, in the same time, you can answer also the biodiversity problem with all this biomass, and then water conservation. And then you can integrate also with the livestock, with the goat, and then get all this manure of goat to have or to become organic fertilizers. This is only one example how we can make all the what we need, like regenerative agriculture there, by having all this biomass, regenerative cover crop, and other initiative, but still, actually we touch their income. And then we can expect more for this. I think that's all.
Thank you, Pak Syahrudi. So regenerative agriculture should also embrace additional benefits for the farmers. But this doesn't exclude from adoption of digitalization, ya, Pak, ya. So please go ahead. Any thoughts?
Yeah, if you talk about sustainability with smallholder farmers, we definitely have to talk about access to inputs, access to finance, access to knowledge. What I've learned over the past years is if we just use a blanket approach for all the smallholder farmers through farmer group training, field schools, we won't reach adoption. What we've changed about 5-6 years ago is change from group trainings to individual coaching. And that has then eventually resulted in huge adaptation, leading farmers increasing their yields more than 4 times and their income. Besides farmer coaching directly with smallholder farmers individually, obviously we're a tech company, we also integrated digital learning where farmers have access to information through applications to actually remind again about what we've coached the farmers individually on their farm, whether it's about farm diversification or crop-specific productivity increasement. They can learn through videos, mainly videos, but also like knowledge articles to remind them again of the technologies on good agriculture practices. So it's a combination of tech and human interactions, and the more direct individually it can be done, the more success, obviously.
Thank you, Pak Manfred. So it's digital learning from the farmers. Any more? Pak Kazim? Pak Philip? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is a very, very important question. And I wanted to let the specialists talk first because I have limited knowledge when it comes to really the application of these tools on the ground. But I think I just wanted to highlight 2 points. One is I actually fully agree with the panelists that productivity and access to markets is absolutely key. Otherwise, the farmers would not want to actually engage and they don't really see the benefit of the sustainability journey. But I do believe that whenever I travel and I go and talk to farmers, they all understand the need to become more sustainable. I think it's not about having to educate the farmers, but it's about having to give them the tools and to know how to do it. So actually, in this context, I'm very happy to see that all the panelists and all the companies from Nestle, Syngenta, from Cultiva are really trying to give these tools to the farmers, and I think also through our programs, what kind of fertilizer to use, what is sustainable, what kind of seeds will allow you to have the highest yields, et cetera, when to harvest. I think actually what Syngenta presented was actually very interesting in terms of weather forecast, all these things. I think, but someone has to support these farmers, and I think the private sector in this case, we from the government, we can kickstart certain activities, certain programs, but at the end of the day, it really needs to be driven and led by the big private sector companies that they will then really be able to make an impact in the long term.
Thank you, Pak Philip. Pak Kazim?
Same question, or you have an additional question?
There's actually some questions from the participants if you want to go straight.
Let's go to the questions, I guess.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So anybody can answer this. I think the first question from the participant on Zoom. Typically, we find that there is a challenge for financing companies to give loans directly to farmers. The risk is too high. How can we de-risk financing directly? Pak Kazim?
Thank you for the easy questions here. I think we have also learned that there are some banking regulations, and which are difficult for farmers to fulfill. So that is a starter point. Now, the government has introduced this financing, the KUR scheme, which is based on your identification document. But we also see in that the process of financing is a bit complicated, because if you have some prior financing or your credit rating is not strong enough, you're unable to get access to it. So I think how it works in the informal credit market is the relationship. And the way to de-risk it is if there are strong village relationships between the financiers and the farmers. That is the only way of enabling financing in this sector, because there is a huge amount of informal credit in farming, in agriculture. And then how do we include it to formal sector? How do we bring more financial inclusion? So the way to do it is that we will have to take some risks. And some countries have taken that risk. For instance, I give you the example of Bangladesh. They went into microfinancing way before anybody did. And they took the risk, and what they learned is that the default ratio was very less. But it was not backed by any securities or corporate or any other asset. So in our case, I think we will have to take a faith of leap, have strong relationships, build credit rating mechanisms which are specifically catered to the farmers. And based on that, we will need to work with some fintech companies who are able to take that risk, because the formal banking sector right now doesn't allow for easy loaning to the farmers. I would say that would be our learning so far.
Yeah, I can just directly underwrite your answer, Kasim. That summarized it very well. Our struggles over the past years to provide access to finance for smallholder farmers who do not really have access to formal lending. So what we're trying to do now, or actually successfully done already over the past year, is to digitize the informal lending processes through supply chain lending. So access to inputs as a, let's say, buy now, pay later solution, where farmers repay then through crop procurement through the downstream industry. So we're building a closed loop ecosystem to digitize fully, a transparent way, lending through smallholder farmers, which do not include eventually formal banking institutions who has too high requirements for farmers to fulfill.
Okay, thank you very much. If I can take the point where it's sort of like formalize the informal lending from different entities for farmers, and then to systemize that so that it's basically tailored to the farmers' needs. I think this should be the last question from the participant from the Zoom, because the time is over basically. This is from, okay, Pak Sulaiman Ginting, how are you, from Harvest Plus? Very glad to have you here. It's our friend from Harvest Plus. So is there any funding instrument available for us to apply for collaboration in the area of food and nutrition? Maybe Pak Syahrudi?
Yeah, thank you very much. But unfortunately, I am in this agriculture sector. But again, the opportunity always there, I believe, because again, if we talk about funding or financial loan, and just mention a little bit the previous question, from the government also have like a very good support. They have a lot of program also there through KUR, LPDB, and cooperative ministry. They offer this available to the middle entrepreneurship also, to have to let them to expand and grow. And in my part, actually, this is not the main or the key, but today we need to make sure like the objective of the financial loan or funding or support, and it means why I said like this, because financial is good to expand if you already have your existing farming in the good condition. Today, what you need actually how to make sure that what you have, existing you have, to improve and optimizing with the less funding. because I believe we still have the space without any additional funding. But you need to find and choose the right thing that you can improve on what you have today. And then, of course, after that, you can start to think about expanding. You need to have another investment, you need funding, you need the financial loan or something like that. But again, this is not, you can take the responsible for this financial loan, because if not, you will come with the same way, which is not effective yet. And this is a risk for our farmers. We need to be aware on this also. Okay, I think.
Thank you, Pak Syahrudi. So I guess with that comment from Pak Syahrudi, I hope you won't mind if we close this session. I would like to thank you for all of you, because I understand that it takes up a lot of your important time off the office work. So I would like to close the session. Thank you very much, Pak Manfred, Pak Kazim, Pak Syahrudi, and Pak Philip. So I think I would like to just give a little bit of takeaway for our journalists here. So in conclusion, innovation have revolutionized agriculture, by introducing numerous inventive solutions designed with efficiency in mind. So allowing our farmers in Indonesia to access essential tools needed for their production, while helping minimize use of resources and impact on the environment. So we hear from Pak Manfred about digitalization, from Pak Kazim, regenerative agriculture, biodiversity, pollinators protection, from Pak Syahrudi, also regenerative agriculture, from Pak Philip, landscape approach. This advancement can help improve agricultural productivity and farmers' profitability. And the bottom line, as research and science continues on innovations within agriculture, we should expect further progress towards developing sustainable agriculture practices and systems for food security and safety in our country. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening and attending, and also the audience in Zoom, thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, we are still online. Thank you very much, Mirna, and thank you very much for all panelists for such a fruitful discussion. And it is great to learn more about how our member companies in SwissCham, the sustainable journey on building the future sustainable agriculture in our country. It's very great. And before we close our session today, we have a session to hand over some of the token of appreciation for all the panelists and moderators today. Please, SwissCham team, to bring the token of appreciation, and you may stand to receive the appreciation. let me close. Okay, I would like to say thank you to all the participants who joined us via Zoom online, and we hope to see you at our next event. Thank you. And all panelists, please remain at the front because we will continue our session with a press conference with our journalists. Okay, the moderator for this press conference will be Mbak Mirna again. So let's be open.